Oh, hello. Welcome back to Kelman Explores channel. Today I want to talk about two different ships that are very different but that we both like on two different cruise lines. The Carnival Celebration versus the MSC Meraviglia. Let's see how they compare. Let's see what's different. Let's see which things I did not like on which one. Stay tuned. Alright, to be fair, the MSC Meraviglia is not quite as big as the Carnival Celebration. It is very close. It's kind of in between the Horizon and the Celebration. It would be like in the middle. They are very similar though otherwise, except for age. The Celebration is brand new and the MSC Meraviglia is from 2017 or 16. To be fair, the Carnival Celebration is 183,521 gross tons. That's a lot. And the MSC Meraviglia is 171,598 gross tons. That's kind of how I compare the ships by the tonnage. Usually the lengths and the widths are pretty much in tune with that. There could be, the MSC Meraviglia is a little shorter, I think by 30 feet, than the Carnival Celebration. But let's dive into the differences. Okay, number one, embarkation and disembarkation or debarkation. So embarkation is the act of embarking onto a vessel, either at sea or in the air. Debarkation is the act of getting off of the vessel for that trip. That's a process. Those of you who have cruised, it can be tedious or it can be great. It's not really the best part of the experience. Right afterwards is, and then right before is on the way to the ship. But then once you park, you're like, it's time to go through the process, because you got your luggage drop off, you've got your security checkpoints, you've got your check-in, you've got any issues that may pop up with those things could delay you. And then the cruise line and the port has to have everything also working. So the logistics of it all. The gangway, is customs cleared the old passengers from getting off, the previous sailing from getting off? Are you cleared to get on? Is there any issues going on? So that brings me to the differences between these two, at least when we sailed on them. MSC Meraviglia left from Port Canaveral when we went on it. And we thought it would be great because most of our Port Canaveral embarkation processes on different cruise lines have been excellent. It's our favorite cruise port in Florida. But it took us about 2 hours and 50 minutes from the time we parked to the time we got onto the ship. And that was the longest we've ever had in an embarkation process. I even got dropped off because we saw the line. The line came from outside the building all along the side. Nautical Wanderers, aka Brittany, had the idea to drop me off with the luggage. She was gonna go park and I would move. Hopefully in the process, we did not move. She came back and I was pretty much about 20 feet further. And this is like 500 feet probably, till we got to the room just to get in. And then in there was queue lines, going zigzagging throughout that room. And then we went through security and then there was more waiting and more waiting. We ended up also waiting outside at a certain point before we got actually up to the ship. And it was hot, it was sunny. It was last year around this time actually, in November when we went. I think the first or second weekend in November. That was the worst embarkation process. Now of course I think it was like the perfect storm of events. So I heard they had gangway issues. So that's the bridge, the drawbridge or the accordion thing kind of opens up and allows people to get on the ship from the port. So that was not working, I heard at some point briefly. And then there was an issue getting people off in time because of that. And then I think they were just overwhelmed and a lot of the people that showed up were not on time or they were late to get on. So it was just a perfect storm of little events and maybe one big event with the gangway that caused this massive delay. Okay, the Carnival Celebration was based out of Miami when we went on her, which was in January of this year in 2023. So about 3 to 4 months after, my math is bad, about 2 full months after MSC Meraviglia. So we still had the Meraviglia on our minds and we basically just walked on the ship. And in between those two sailings, we did also go on the Carnival Mardi Gras, which was great. Same situation, that was also out of Port Canaveral at the time. Very streamlined process. We did have a delay in that process as well with the gangway. But overall, on the embarkation and deembarkation or disembarkation, I don't know which one's necessarily the best to say, but I think debarkation is what most people say. Carnival wins with that. The Carnival Celebration won. It was pretty quick. I think we timed it. It was about 20 minutes from once we parked, got through we were walking on the ship in 20 minutes. Now we did arrive at our arrival time. We do that always. We try to respect that. Now if we're late, I think being late is better than being early necessarily. Not too late. You don't want to miss the ship. But that way you're not clogging up anything, waiting there for 2 hours before they call your time. Some cruise lines do have a line or a queue section for people who are inside or outside of their window, I should say, their time to get on. So they get there a little early or a little late. I believe they have a queue line for that, and you can just, if you want to do it, you can go through there. So the Carnival Celebration wins in that aspect, definitely. And it was not a great way to start the MSC Meraviglia cruise off, waiting almost 3 hours to get on. Maybe that doesn't seem like a lot, but it is when you have all your stuff. And it was actually a very balmy winter day in Florida, which it usually is in Florida. That just put a bad taste in our mouth for that first day. It's like, anyway. So Carnival Celebration, you won. That's pretty good. Number 2, I guess, let's talk about the food options on the ships. This is very hard because I'm probably going to be hated by this, but I think main dining room food tastes very similar across cruise lines except for on the MSC Meraviglia. Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and Carnival, the main dining room, I think the food is about the same quality. I could be, maybe some people order different things than me and they taste a big difference, whereas I don't. The MSC Meraviglia, I did not like their dining room. We went once. Now, it was a shorter cruise. It was a 4-night cruise, but we only went to the main dining room once. And it was there was very few people in there. And I think a lot of people opted for the buffet. Overall, I ended up loving the MSC Meraviglia buffet. It had the best seasoned food that I could find. As far as like included food, the MSC Meraviglia doesn't have as much as Carnival Celebration, whereas Carnival, those of you who know Carnival know that they have the Guy's Burgers, the Guy's Barbecue, Shaq's Big Chicken. They have different things that are included in your cruise fare that just different tastes. They have the shebang, where now you believe you only get one dining for free, and then after that you can go, but you pay. Then they also have the Cucina del Capitano, the Italian restaurant, which is included. Now I will say these portions are smaller than on older Carnival ships where you pay for Cucina del Capitano, but honestly, so much food and you can get more. I'm fine with that. It's not a big deal. Smaller portions are fine with me if it tastes great. I'm down with that, because you can always say, can I have another one? Can I order this too? And that way you're not wasting food also, right? Carnival has a plethora of included food besides the buffet and the dining room. And they also have little taste bites and like food truck looking things that every day have a little hors d'oeuvre kind of sized thing. Carnival definitely wins with that. I will say the buffet, I did prefer the MSC Meraviglia buffet for everything versus the Carnival buffet. The Carnival buffet is still good quality, but it does not have as many options as it once had, which I talked about briefly in my last video, or 2 videos. Royal Caribbean versus Carnival. Royal Caribbean won also the buffet. It's just that like there's just more selection. It pleases more people. More dietary limitations and restrictions can be appeased or pleased in the Royal Caribbean buffet, but we're talking about MSC. So also the MSC Meraviglia buffet. And the MSC Meraviglia also had something slightly one up. It was attached to the buffet, but they used it everywhere on the ship. They have their own mozzarella cheese making area, and they make their own mozzarella cheese and maybe other cheeses, but I'm pretty sure mozzarella. And so the mozzarella available in the buffet and on other dishes, they make their own cheese on there. Well, at least mozzarella. I thought that was pretty cool. I will say the pizza is on the MSC Meraviglia is in the buffet, whereas on Carnival it's not, but the Carnival pizza is better. MSC Meraviglia pizza was good. It was okay, but like the crust was pre-made. Carnival is like, they've got the dough spread out. That's right. It's risen and all that stuff. Like the dough is shaped, but they put fresh dough in the ovens and make pizzas like constantly. Whereas MSC, it's like kind of like they're pre-made like disc of pizza dough already made. So they put the toppings on there and reheat everything. Once I saw that, I'm like, it's not as good. And it tasted fine, but it was not as good as Carnival pizza. I will say, some people don't agree with me, but that Carnival included pizza is some of the best pizza on the ship. And also in Cucina del Capitano, you can order pizzas, and they are really good pizzas. I think they are paid. They're not included necessarily, or maybe they are for lunch. You have to look into it, but if they were big, it was a big pizza. I ordered one in there. I was shocked by how big it was, and it was great. It was really good pizza. Now, as far as specialty food, I will also go with Carnival Celebration. We've tried the steakhouse and different things that we paid. The Emerald's Bistro, very unique, different taste around the ship that you pay for. The hibachi. What else did we try? Which that's the bonsai hibachi, where they cook in front of you. It's like it's actually like a show, really. And I do recommend that on Carnival. The taste was also there. The show was great, but the food tasted great, and that's the main part. On MSC, we honestly did not try much because we tried, I think it's called Ola Tacos. So it's like a lower end a la carte specialty dining. So you pay per the item, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it's like you can order just one thing, or you can order, but what you're paying, it's like $2 to $8 an item depending on what you get. So it is not that expensive, and the items can be like a whole dish of food, but the food was not great. It basically was like something I made or reheated. We ordered nachos as an appetizer, and we didn't expect like, you know, fresh chips, but these were like Tostinos. No offense to Tostinos. They opened a bag of like nacho, you know, the little, what you would get at like a baseball game. So that was kind of weird, because I know on Carnival, when you order nachos, it looks like they make the chips there. Maybe they're not always fresh, but they look like they're made in-house. Also the quality, everything that they made was honestly, Taco Bell tastes better. And maybe because I like Taco Bell, but Taco Bell had a better seasoning and flavor on their tacos, and I thought this would be like a great experience, and I heard other people in the room kind of going, whoa, this is not that good. So that was our first, and then we also paid for sushi, which is also a la carte on MSC Meraviglia. We also buy sushi on the Carnival Celebration on all Carnival ships, because Bonsai Sushi is to date my favorite sushi on board any ship, and it's fleet wide, I believe. Water break. But after the tacos, the Ola Tacos, or the Ola restaurant, which has Latin inspired food, we went to sushi the next day. It was not good. It was not good at all. And I don't know why, what was lacking. It felt very much like there wasn't any flavor in anything except for the soy sauce. It wasn't made with love. When we eat at the Bonsai Sushi on Carnival and Carnival Celebration, we went multiple times, because hands down, it's some of my favorite food ever. It's not included, but it's worth every penny if you like sushi. They also have cooked items there too. I highly recommend it. So Carnival wins. Carnival basically wins on all food aspects except for the buffet. And even then, their buffet is definitely not bad. It's just the selection is like this versus this, which I get it. Carnival wins the food hands down. Hands down. I blocked some of the MSC food, minus their buffet, out of my head, because it was not, I could have did better with, you know, blindfolded. Maybe it was just a bad sailing. Let's go to staterooms. On both ships, we ended up, I will say that, with a balcony. We bought Meraviglia with a balcony. I bought that outright, and it was a great deal. It was a great price. I will say MSC wins on that. I got more for my money in the room right off the bat, right out the gate. It was our first sailing with them. We didn't have any kind of like promotions or anything. They had their own promotion, and I think we got free Wi-Fi and drinks, I think. Or no, we did the free balcony upgrade and $100 onboard credit. So it was about $580 for 2 people for 4 days with a balcony and $100 onboard credit, which was a great deal. I will say that. Carnival, I ended up getting a free room, Carnival Celebration, a free interior room, but we got upgraded to a balcony because we had an ADA interior room, and somebody on the ship needed it because everything's level in there and there's no trips, and so you can walk right into the bathroom and not have to step up, and it's a much larger room. So somebody was in need, and they did the nice thing for us, because we would have given it outright without asking for any more in return, because if I needed a room, I would love for somebody to give me one, you know, and trade or whatever. But they gave us a balcony, and it was great. We went up a little higher, and then we got a balcony. So we ended up getting a balcony for a free room price, which is really about $680 after taxes. But with the celebration rate, I got 200 onboard credit. It was a 7-day cruise, so it's a much better deal if you think of it like that. But we had to get upgraded for that balcony for free for it to be a better deal. The rooms were very, you know, much exactly the same. There were balcony rooms, except for like the general like decor. Carnival's newer decor is great, but it's also like their buffet. It's very like, I feel like it's a little limited. I do like the walls are like more like this color. They're not as beigey or yellowy or pinky like the old walls used to be. And they have like a lot of blue hues of like ocean colors and pops of Carnival colors and stuff. And they're great, but I feel like it's missing a little bit of like luxuriousness, so to speak, if that, you know, if you get that. Whereas MSC, I was actually very surprised when I opened the door, because I was expecting, you know, for under $600 a balcony. I was like, what's going to happen in here? I love the color scheme. It had a lot of grays and more of a modern kind of color scheme and decor. I will say the storage options on the MSC Meraviglia, the like clothing was a little tight, but honestly, we don't really need need much of that anyway. I love the overall decor. The balcony looked nice, and it just, everything looked more designed and a little more luxurious. I don't remember how the beds felt, so I can't really give a bed review. If I don't remember how it felt, it must have felt great because I slept great. That's how I look at it. So I think with the room, the balcony rooms at least, MSC Meraviglia does win. And also for the price point, right out the door, right out the gate, MSC Meraviglia offered a better rate. And I think that's good for everybody, not just frequent cruisers of the cruise brand. I was really shocked when I saw that price. The infotainment, the TV, all that stuff was great. I think Carnival had a much larger TV, but honestly, that's not that big of a deal because it's right by the bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this to MSC Meraviglia. So this was like 3, and I've been talking forever. I think that was number 3. Number 4, I'm gonna talk about the overall style of the ship itself. So like the like vibe of the ship decor and like how it looked, what it kind of made me feel like. I will say that MSC Meraviglia, for being very beautiful, and it just didn't kind of make sense to me. Now maybe because I didn't read much about why. I know that their godmother is Sophia Loren. So it's Mediterranean, Italian, like very like European. It did really smell like fragrance throughout the ship too. Like they had a good scent, like they have their own signature scent, and you can have it on colognes or perfumes and room diffusers, room sprays, candles. I think candles, I could be wrong about that. Don't light candles on the ship, by the way. But anyway, the scent was okay. It's pretty strong, but it's like, it didn't bother me. It's kind of like a mall kind of smell, if that makes sense. Like, you know, clean air, but then like fragrance. Whereas Carnival, I don't think does anything like that, which maybe that's for the best. They do sell colognes and perfumes and different things, but as far as like having the scent kind of, it's in a lot of public areas. If you are sensitive to scent, that's something to think about. Other than that, and the little pops of beautiful, like there's staircases in MSC, which I think that's across the fleet, but on the Meraviglia, each step has, in the main like atrium, they have like crystals in every step, and I've heard that it's like $10,000 a step in Swarovski crystals or crystals, and Carnival doesn't really have anything like that, Carnival Celebration, but they have pops of like design and things also. But I will say I'm going to give this to Carnival because Carnival Celebration has an overall theme that I kind of understood right away. I didn't have to like process them like, oh, that's beautiful, but how does that tie in with back there? If you've been on the on the Mardi Gras, Carnival Mardi Gras and the Carnival Celebration, you know how different they are, but they are the same. They're themed different. So I think Carnival does a great job with their theming. The Carnival Mardi Gras is very Mardi Gras, and the Carnival Celebration has a lot of Miami stuff in there because it's commemorating the first 50 years of Carnival. So there's a lot of history, and it's just different things, and it all kind of flows and ties in. The public areas and the little Easter egg kind of things, whereas on the Meraviglia, I just felt like I was in a mall, which isn't bad. It just, I didn't get the design. I didn't understand what they were like telling me besides these are stores, these are restaurants, and this is like a mall vibe. Very nicely decorated, but I just didn't understand a lot of it. So I am going to give that one to the Carnival Celebration because I did like it, and I kind of got it, I understood it, and I explored more, and I was interested. And so let's go to number 5, and let's just say entertainment. I'm going to say right away, I'm not going to talk too long about this. Carnival Celebration's entertainment is definitely 100 times better than the MSC Meraviglia. Now maybe things have changed, and I know that MSC Meraviglia caters to more than just an American audience, and maybe that's the issue, is I'm not as cultured. But I did not understand. We only saw one of the shows in the theater. I don't like the way the theater is also, I will say that. And the Carnival Celebrations theater is very similar. There's no more double decks. You know how in the older Carnival ships you can go up to the mezzanine level or whatever that is up there and kind of look down on the stage. Now it's just like stadium seating, like a movie theater, but a much bigger. And same thing in the MSC Meraviglia. I do like the Carnival colors of the theater better, but anyway, that's another kind of topic. But the entertainment on Carnival was bar none, or is bar none, way better. There's more of it that's free. Honestly, I think all of it's free. They have center stage shows with acrobats and singers and just people doing stuff. They have Broadway type shows and actual Broadway shows, I believe, in the main theater. And then they have just easier little things with the Fun Squad and entertainment and trivia. And I think they had the trivia and stuff on the Meraviglia, but we never found it, and we didn't really look that hard, but we didn't see it or hear it. The one show we saw on the MSC Meraviglia, I could not tell you what it was. People were talented. They were singing and dancing and a lot of costume changes, I will say that. And there was a lot more people on the stage. I swear there was probably 15, maybe 20 at one point. And I just remember a lot of dresses and dancing, and I think they sang in different languages and different songs, and maybe it's like a world thing maybe we saw. But on Carnival, like Carnival Celebration, you knew what you were watching and the title, and it was just very, you could tell it was a much different vibe, much different thought, or like Carnival spent more time and money on their entertainment for sure. I will say we did watch one page, there was 2 page shows in MSC Meraviglia, which you had to pay for it. We saw Houdini, and that wasn't bad, and we paid I think 15 bucks a ticket. Then they have another one, and that's where they do a little bit of the acrobatic stuff hanging from the ribbon, the things, you know, up in the ceiling and twirling and all that. So that wasn't bad, but we had to pay for it, which I thought was strange. I never heard of that before on a cruise line. It was a smaller venue, but it was pretty big. It seemed big enough. Carnival wins on entertainment. I'm telling you, the newer ships on Carnival are actually the best shows I've ever seen. I'm not a big Broadway person, or, you know, but I got into it. I'm like, this is pretty neat to be in the show down there in the center stage. Go check it out. Carnival Celebration. Or the Carnival Mardi Gras, or the Carnival Jubilee coming out soon. It's like any day now. Stay tuned for that. Now, the adults only area on Carnival, it's called Serenity. I don't remember what it's called on MSC Meraviglia, but I do remember, I don't even know if it's adults only, but it was just a quieter space, and it was interior. It was like a pool that was covered with, like, the roof could move or open up, and it was just a nice vibe in there on MSC Meraviglia. The Serenity area on Carnival Celebration is great, but there wasn't a big pool, and there's jacuzzis, but it wasn't as nice. MSC Meraviglia does have a nicer adults only area, or I'm calling it an adults only area because I didn't see any kids. And they had a big bar in there and jacuzzis, and they open the roof when it's nice and they close it when it's not. So I could see this being a great ship to be on in Europe when it's cooler, or anywhere where it's cold, Alaska, wherever they can go, Canada, because they can close it, keep the pool warm, or the area in there warm, so you can go enjoy the hot tubs or the pool. So I'm just gonna keep this one short. So the adults only area, the MSC Meraviglia wins for me. I liked it. It was beautiful. Hopefully we have footage and I can include it. Okay, let's go to the casino. That's a very important area for me, obviously. That's how I get my free rooms on Carnival. I will say right away, Carnival wins. I don't remember much about the MSC Meraviglia Casino except for it was smoky. And the floor had Roman numerals on it. And it was red and black, the floor. I remember liking that at first, but then I'm like, this is a little bit much. And I think maybe I remember some of the, you know, something circular. And you had to wait in there to go to see the show, and it was so smoky. And I'm a reformed smoker. It doesn't really bother me, but when it's like you're baking in it, I don't like it. The MSC or the Carnival Celebration, I can remember the exact layout of that casino and the multiple ways to get in there. And I loved how they have some of the table games actually in the non-smoking side. I believe they have an ocean view in the daytime, and they have windows that they open up, which I've never seen that on a ship before. And I think the Carnival Celebration Casino does a great job at making it beautiful, not just, you know, functional, but there's beauty to it. And the seats were all comfortable. It was cool. It wasn't hot. It wasn't smoky. They had a big non-smoking section, and the smoking area wasn't that bad either. So Carnival Celebration wins on that for sure. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about like the fun, like activity areas on the ship. So Carnival Celebration has a lot of stuff going on. They've got the water slides. They've got that roller coaster up there. You know, a lot, you know, basic whatever, putt-putt golf, different things. And I think it's all for free except for the roller coaster. I think it's like 15 or 18 bucks. And you get to go around twice. MSC Meraviglia has a lot of also included things, but things that also cost money. So they have a bowling alley with just 2 lanes, but that's pretty impressive. They have Formula 1 racing simulators, which are paid. They have a whole enclosed inside basketball court, which they do for multiple things, whereas Carnival Celebration, it's not enclosed. It's not a big deal because they do have it in a net, but that way you can play in the rain if it's like stormy, kids got something to do. I think the MSC Meraviglia did a better job overall on the activity area, and I think it's about a tie though when you factor in the roller coaster aspect. They both have great water slides. They each have like 3 main ones, I believe, and it's just A lot of great thought went into both ships on the water park area. They both have the putt-putt or the mini golf. Overall, I would say it's a tie for that. I do like aspects on the Meraviglia better because they have a lot more things to do if the weather is bad outside. If it's bad weather outside, half of the things on Carnival shut down outside. So that's your basketball, your golf, and any of the other little things they have out there. Whereas MSC Meraviglia has a lot inside that still have window views to the outside. But I think it's a tie overall though, because Carnival has that roller coaster. Even if you only go on it once, I recommend it. It's pretty fun. We went on it once and I think it's very unique. I mean, where else can you say you've been on a roller coaster in the middle of the ocean? Only on Carnival. For now, at least. That's a tie. All right, so that's pretty much it. I will say overall, I think the Carnival Celebration is more of my favorite ship. There is aspects of MSC that I really did like though, like the value for the money in the room. Carnival has great value too, but the rooms don't feel as valuable, if that makes sense. So $1,000 room on Carnival for the same length, say a 4-day, and $1,000 room on MSC Meraviglia. I think the MSC Meraviglia will feel more like a $1,000 room, if that makes sense. Now, as far as the other things that include the food and stuff, the entertainment, I think Carnival gives you that value on that aspect of that same $1,000. So it's kind of like, you know, would you rather have a nice room for the money or more things to do? Honestly, I think more things to do. I do love a modern take on a stateroom and a better color scheme, but honestly, for better food and more things to do that are included in that money, I think I would definitely stick with Carnival. I am going to try MSC Meraviglia coming up in January on our Northern European cruise, so stay tuned for that. I've heard great things about that and the reviews seem a lot better. So I'm wondering if it's not a ship issue necessarily, but a training issue on MSC Meraviglia's part at the time we sailed on her. I do see better reviews for MSC Meraviglia now and different people on TikTok that have been live on MSC Meraviglia and they look like they're having a great time and things look a little better. So that could have been just a one-off. It would have been a bad time for us. I want to give an honorable mention though to MSC's private island, Ocean Cay Marine Reserve in the Bahamas. I do want to give an honorable mention to that. I didn't really include that, but I think it's a beautiful island and I do like it better than Carnival's Half Moon Cay, I think it's called. Half Moon Cay. Half Moon Cay is fine and it's great, and Carnival is building a new, I think, Celebration Key or Celebration Island, Celebration Cay. I think they're building that right now and it's going to be great and probably blow the other people out of the water once it debuts. But I did really like MSC's brand private island, Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. It was beautiful, and if you do some sailings, we'll actually spend the night there, so you get to watch a nighttime show like fire and fire dancers and stuff. You can see it from the ship or get off. And that's pretty neat. We didn't get to do that on our sailing. That's something I still want to do at some point. And I think the food on the included food at the buffet on the island was really great. It was some of the best food I've had. It was on a private island, and usually the food, in my opinion, on anybody's private island is a little less valuable or less tasty or up to my par versus on the ship itself. So I think they did a great job with that. So I just wanted, instead of bashing MSC and MSC Meraviglia so much, we did experience the private island on MSC Meraviglia and it was really great. That kind of made up for a lot of the things that were not so great. I do think overall I would still pick Carnival Celebration if I had to go tomorrow, but you know, don't sleep on MSC also if you've never tried it. I think MSC is a great value if you're looking for an inexpensive cruise to try. MSC in Florida. I think right now though, it's only the Seascape or the Seaside and maybe the Divina MSC. So look for those if you're interested. Book a short cruise. They're very affordable. If you think of that, that's what also stopped us from complaining was the affordability. We had a few issues where we wanted to complain, you know, different things. When I thought back how much we paid and what our room looked like, and then the aspects of the private island and certain things like the activities on board is not a bad ship. I think we had a bad sailing, so to speak. And I've heard also maybe with the new ships that have been launching with MSC, because they're pumping out ships, that they're taking good talent from existing ships to open and serve the brand new flagships. That way the new ships have great reviews. So that does leave kind of a void or newer people that aren't as experienced to be running the older ships that they robbed the good talent from. I won't say robbed, but they promoted or moved them to a better ship or a newer ship. That could also be it, and that's something to kind of be more forgiving about. Anyway, I've talked a long time on this video and it is late. I'm tired. It is Christmas time, by the way. Look at this back here. Who's that? Y'all know who that is? Well, thank you again for watching Kelman Explores. I appreciate all the watches and the comments and likes that y'all give me, and keep them coming. Tell me what other video I should make with cruise lines and cruise brands. We are going very soon. Probably my next videos, maybe I'll have one more between now and then, will be coming from or about the Celebrity Ascent. Not related to any of the things I've talked about today. That is Celebrity's newest ship, and right now they are in their preview sailings. And we are going to be sailing the second ever sailing that is a real sailing and not a preview sailing. So that's very excited for us. That's the newest ship we will ever have been on. I think I'm gonna smell paint still, and there might be some plastic on things that I'll have to take off in the room. I'm just guessing, probably not, but stay tuned for that. Any questions or any ideas you want me to make a video about or explore, let me know, and stay tuned for my upcoming adventures. Thank you again for watching Kelman Explores. Have a great holiday season. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you can, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to see more. Bye.